for the rest of the game.
Absolutely. I mean, one thing I really wanted to look at, right, was just where the zones. I think we always talk about how zones pulled and where the zones are in when it comes to any major Fortnite tournament. And these are the positions of all the 6 zones we saw throughout these games. This is 6 zone in particular as well, which is really interesting because I think when you look at this season and the meta right now, Vivid, a lot of the players, when you talk to them, have been struggling with 6 zone rotations. It's one of the most difficult zones to navigate through. But when you actually look at the zones and you look at where all the top 5 teams have been landing, even though they're all over, you know, they're not having problems at all, right? You can see it's less about where you're landing and more about taking advantage of the zones you get when you can. All these teams landing in different corners, but yet still consistently doing well in these games.
Yeah, definitely. I wanted to give a big shout out to Clix and Venom right now. I saw that Venom made a little bit of a social post I was mentioning, like, man, I really wish we could pull some zones, right? So that's kind of affecting him when it comes to that. But the biggest stat that kind of stuck out to me in particular with Clix and Venom is that they actually led duos in damage dealt in the first 3 zones, right? So that's an amazing stat right there. They're starting the early game very, very cleanly, which is actually impressive because as we know, just 2-3 days ago, they found out they were actually going to be contested. The fact that their early game is still going well in terms of damage dealt is super impressive to me, but maybe that's kind of the point where, you know, bunkers start to get claimed, those other positions, you know, right? Rift Island, the weapons of like Peterbot, all of these attachments that get added onto weapons, then they start coming to play, and maybe that's where they're kind of falling behind.
Absolutely. I think from talking to Venno, I think that comes from their individual brilliance rather than having a consistent game plan, right? I think they are still trying to figure things out in terms of splitting that POI with Resigns and Demo from OCE. Like, how do we get our loot, get out, and get enough damage and be able to play through these games out? I think they're still figuring that out, but the fact that they're still so high on damage just shows how great they are individually as players.
In that situation, though, do we just say, like, day 2, 1.5, we're just going to fight you? Like, what do we have to lose, right? What do we have to lose?
So do you know what the problem with that is, Zeke, unfortunately? As soon as they start fighting, right, Clix gets knocked in the feed, or Venno gets knocked in the feed, Peterbot and Poyo
coming
flying over quickly, right? And so you're in a tough spot there where even if it isn't Peterbot and Poyo, right, Geras and Chari who land nearby, the Polish duo, they see those guys fighting. Again, they're going to be on that hill nearby thinking we can get some free damage here.
Man, crazy stuff, crazy stuff. I want to talk more, but I know what you guys want. It is to meet these players. So Dickie's Arena, give a big warm welcome to the first 10 duos.
It's Alex and Worthy. Looking to even the off-spawn score. These guys are ready to start day 2 with a bang.
Let's give it up for Andalex and Sainto. The first product are going to have to dig in deep today. And let's hope that they find that last-minute strength to succeed, just as they did at Major number 2.
Everybody make some noise for Baka and Pars. 1 match out of 6, we saw their potential, and today's a second chance for Baka and Pars to find success on the global stage.
Here's Casper and Prism. They are here, especially after heating up in game number 6. The real question is, can they keep up what they started?
Block it. Now you got Job and Michael. It's been a tough day 1. What have they learned, and how have they evolved?
Hold on, it's CCB and Nathan. We know they're known for their consistency, but who would have called them being just inside the top 10 after day number 1? Now, let's see what they can do.
One more time, it's going to be the double T's, Trashy and Threats. They knew it wouldn't be easy, but the top 10, it's so within their reach.
Coming in hot is Stroll and Sky, the Danish duo that have had their biggest task in front of them right now after closing day 1 right inside of the middle of the pack.
They know it's time to pick up the pace. They've got 6 more games to make it happen. Let's get after it, Kadu and Sion.
It's none other than Bugha and Aviv. 2 out of their 6 performances were stellar. And if they can find that groove again, we can definitely see them up at the top.
I think that's probably my second favorite part of the show, is bringing out the players. The first will be when we lift the trophy. But to just hear the crowd lose and to see kind of the players in that moment really take in, man, there's a crowd. We're here at LAN. Let's go. A duo that didn't budge an inch. Baka and Pars. So locked in right now. It looks like they've got their eyes on the prize.
Very consistent duo out of NA. I think a lot of people had high hopes for this duo, even including them into the top 10, just because of how consistent they are. Often, it's like, oh, they're the NA Cammy and Seti. They just play so passive, always playing for the placement. But right now, 11, kind of disappointed in the sense that they are in 23rd.
Absolutely. I think part of why maybe things have gone a bit awry for them so far is, as we've seen with a lot of teams, I think a lot of the mid-game strategies people had prepared, the lobby just looks so different, I think, to what people expected, right? We've seen that effect with a couple other teams as well. Queasy talked about it when we interviewed him earlier, right? Like, there was a lot of freestyling that had to be done. Hopefully, these guys have been able to use that experience from day one and cook up something a lot more consistent today.
That's right, and you guys heard them. I mean, the moment we talk about Bugha in any capacity, crowd goes absolutely crazy. Shout-outs to him paired up with Aviv. And, of course, shout-outs to JP, very special guest there who got to walk out with them. Currently sitting in 24th place, but if Bugha's taught me anything, it's you can't count Bugha out. He can make anything happen. And now we just said, Bugha, I don't know, what about a 1.5 times multiplier? Can you work with that?
I think Bugha and Aviv can work with that for sure, right? I mean, like you mentioned, it's really, really hard to count Bugha out. Honestly, he has survived in Fortnite competitive for so long because of how smart he is, because of how much experience he has. Well, now I got to say, Levin, it's time to put that experience, that knowledge to test. Day 2, can the comeback happen?
And there's so many people here that love him and are rooting for him, and he's got to do it for them.
That's right. Do it for the people. That's what we want to see. But for the people, we will now bring out the next 10 duos.
Epic Whale and Muzz know what it takes to win, and today it is time for an all-star performance. Show us what you got.
Let's give it up for Chat and Teeny. After winning Game 1, they've already proven that they are championship caliber. However, it was just the start of their journey.
Rise and you must start at day 1 off strong, but can they hone in on the consistency? Because this is where it matters most.
Ping and Watts, ladies and gentlemen, they began surging up the rankings here in day number 1, and if anything, the rest of the competition has to continue to go that way for them.
It's been a lot of growing pains for Danath and Tinka, but you can't count Oceania out. It's a new day, and it can always be a fresh start.
It's none other than Quatsi and Gone. NA and Brazil are going to have to dig deep today to make the community proud. This duo has shown that they can win fights, but now they need the placements.
Si se puede, Clone and Kramsu. Their next move is hopefully going way up on that leaderboard.
It's double trouble. We have Reet and Ritual. Closing the day out in 25th was tough, but now with the 1.5x multiplier, can Reet and Ritual find the strength to pop off?
A massive welcome back to Reason and Mateo. Can they crack into the top 10 for day number 2?
Batman, Bugha, and Rapid are in the building. Everyone is wondering, how is this team going to adjust? And can they actually prove that they're one of the best on NA?
Never gets old. Never gets old. Love to have these players walk in and just kind of, again, feel that energy from the crowd, feel that electricity. So for you guys in the arena, every time these duos come out, make some noise. Let's take a moment here to highlight some NA West teams. Kelly, well, sorry about that. Reet and Ritual, very excited to see this duo. And again, I'm just going to continue to frame everything through that same exact lens, 1.5 times multiplier. What can we expect from the duo coming into the competition for day 2?
Something that we touched on a little bit earlier, Levin, right? The fight that's going on all the way up north between Reet and Ritual, Kyoto. And honestly, I think the biggest thing there for me is that fight happening over that bunker. There's been so many teams. Every single time we go up there and take a look at one of those teams, there's like 4 other arrows just surrounding the area. So I think it's honestly just brought way too much attention to that area of the map. Maybe they'll have to switch it up today.
I mean, I think we are seeing that, right? Where teams are struggling for damage, where are they going to naturally rotate to? They know there's going to be people at the bunkers. Let's go there. It was funny because it was one of those games when we went there, I'm expecting to see Mapoli and Kyoto fighting Reet and Ritual. It was like Zagu and Shiram. These guys must be thinking, do the Asian players just hate us? Like, why are they all coming to our bunker? Oh my goodness. But look, if you expect anyone to be able to deal with that pressure, especially when it comes to fighting, you'd think Reet and Ritual can do it.
Absolutely. And once again, from one Bugha to the other, Batman, Bugha, Rapid, these guys once again, as long as your name is Bugha at some capacity, the crowd's going to go wild. But to see Batman, Bugha, and Rapid perform here today, they've got the crowd behind them. What do they have to do to kind of put those pieces together?
Talk to Batman, Bugha a little bit, hoping, honestly, just an early rotation out of Grimgate. Maybe look towards the south, towards that bunker down there that I think Swizzy and Yapko have been getting.
I think it has to be that, right? New solutions to get early damage going into the mid game.
That's right, that's right. Well, you know what time it is. It's time to bring in the next 10 duos.
No matter the odds, Swizzy and Yapko are ready to run it back. But they'll need more victory royales if they want to get the job done.
The pride of the Middle East, Adapter and FKS. Game 1 was the round that determined the pace for this team, but then they lost the steam. Can the Middle Eastern Pride make a big comeback today?
Hello again to Trulex and Chicho. The foundation is there, but they've got to build up if they want to reach a global championship.
Fort Worth, give it up for Kate Shuttle and Kate Key. If this team can make it past the mid-game, we expect huge things. However, we all know it won't be easy.
They've had a day to work on their chemistry, but regardless of the outcome, Cheeks and Chris, you've got the hearts of champions.
Let's put your hands together for Huddy and Kovacs. This team was contested on day number 1, and after a near-perfect day, they came in sweeping through the competition.
Dukes and Sphinx found their footing in day number 1, and maintaining their consistency will be a big step in the right direction.
All the way from Japan, it's Bobby and Larpax. They have their work cut out for them here today. Will some of Asia's best be able to step up to the challenge?
After taking the night to review, Aspect and Kazi have hopefully developed a strategy to turn the tides back in their favor.
It's your boys, Acorn and Cold. They had a spectacular day 1 performance, placing in the race for a trophy finish. But let's see if they can close out strong now.
Cold is going with. Let's go, and fans are still cheering for Acorn and Cold. I wanted to take an opportunity here. We kind of referenced this damage, top 5 damage out of yesterday's performance. We got to look at Trulex and Chicho. Chicho on that top 5 as the most damage done. This is a duo we cannot count out.
I mean, we called it out yesterday, right? Because we were watching them end games and we tuned into them and they had like more than 5 elims, which if you know anything about them as a duo, that's not typically what you expect. These guys were popping off. Their damage, their game plan is, ironclad, right? It cannot be throttled in any way, right? And so I expect to see these guys continue their dominance today.
kind of known for doing those giant towers that put them above the rest of the lobby. An interesting stat there to kind of point out is that they're actually the only duo in the top 5 with 0 time spent on the higher ground as it pertains to the end game, right? So in that middle game, they're all the way up there. Come down to the end game, they're going for the low ground.
Wow, crazy stuff. And of course, don't worry, crowd. We'll talk about Acorn and Cold, of course. Fan favorites here without a doubt. And again, you can just tell in their face, they are so locked in. They know what needs to be done. Now they just have to pull it off.
I need to see more people in the crowd hitting the cold celebration. I need more of the cold celebration. I mean, look, we know what these two can do. They've contested us format Alex and Sato. It went pretty well for them. I mean, they've historically done well when contested as well in the past. So I just expect them to do more of the same. Acorn talked about, again, pushing the bucket a bit, right? Going even harder today and making use of the 1.5x multiplier. I'm super excited to see what they do.
Such a consistent team. Cold is used to putting up big elimination games. Is there anything that I had in terms of requests for day number 2 out of this duo? It's gonna be Cold. One of those games, 10+ eliminations. Let me see one of those pop-offs.
That's right. They said they're a day 2 team. So Acorn, I'm gonna hold you to that. With that being said, though, let's bring in our next 10 duos.
Starting the day off in 2nd place, but Queasy and Thomas HD have only one goal in mind, and that is to break the curse.
Put your hands together for Koyota and Mipoli. This Asian powerhouse has their work cut out for them today, as they have proven to be the best team in Asia for day number 1.
Experience gain is never a loss. Let's see what Shadow and Virgo have in store and what they've learned since day number 1.
Gears and Shari, everyone, after the 18th place finish. We'll just have to see what this team can do, as they have a bit of a way to go here in day number 2.
We know that they're entering from the final hour, but Visuals and Braids may still have some tricks up their sleeve here in day 2.
Agers and Rise, after being surprise contested, this duo still managed to find their stride and close out with an impressive 11th place finish. What can they do next?
We know they've been hitting the VOD and looking to review, but now it's time. Janice and Pixie, they're ready for the fresh start, but can they break through?
Coming in hot, it's Ed and Parsa. The Brazilian fans will need to come together for this duo, because they're going to need your energy if they want to make a top finish.
They're taking every opportunity, but Damo and Resigns are here to show that they can hold their own on the global stage.
It's Peterbot, it's Boyo, make some noise for work. There's nothing much to say for these kings of NA, other than they might just prove to the world that they're the strongest team here.
Man, I feel like the Dickies Arena was not making nearly enough noise there for Peterbot and Pollo. I'm a little bit disappointed by you, crowd, just like a little bit. They're still waking up. It's fine. It's fine. You're still with
Peterbot,
Pollo. They'll get there. They'll get there. Maybe with the last 10. Maybe with the last 10. Man, Thomas, HD, and Queasy, though. We kind of talked about them at the start of the show. I want to talk more about them. With them now being super locked in.
Look how locked in. Look how locked in they look. Look at Queasy. You know, there's a 4-letter word to describe what that is, you know. A-U-R-A. Aura. Straight aura right there. Look, he said all that needs to be said about what they need to do today. I want to see them deliver, man. Queasy's come close in the past. Thomas has come very close many, many a times. I want to see them get the job done today.
Yeah, Levin, you mentioned it, right? They did mention what they need to do today, and I think the quote went a little something like, what? Get height?
Don't die.
You guys are tripping me out here. All right, crowd, let's hear it for Peterbot and Pollo. There it is. The duo in first place, looking to hold on to that lead, but can they do it? This is a new day. Anything can happen. And again, 1.5 times.
A lot of pressure. I would say a lot of pressure has to be on the shoulders of both of these players right now. Such a big lead. Game in number 7, I think, is going to be telling. Are they going to use it as kind of like a reset game? Are they actually feeling nervous at all? I've got no idea. I would be nervous.
I don't think they're feeling any nerves.
Okay.
I'll be honest. I think it's like when you're Peterbot and you talk as much as you do, but you're seeing the results come through, it's like, why be nervous? Like, I'm saying I'm the best. I believe I'm the best. And the results show I'm the best. So why would I be nervous?
Can't argue with that.
Can't argue with that. Well, crowd, we've only got 10 duos left, so you need to make some serious noise for our last duos.
Everybody give it up because Vico and Flixie are back again. They had a good performance in day 1, but now it's time to be great.
Here's the Asian powerhouse of Zaku and Shalom. The global stage pressure is truly showing that anything can happen. Will they be able to make a comeback today?
Bryce and Bolt are back. Lucky number 7 to close out day number 1, but they're still aiming for the top.
They're back. Malibu and Mustache, after being contested, they have their work cut out for them off the drop. They'll just have to see and wait what they can do.
Another day, another opportunity for Cal and Haman. Let's see how they adapt and overcome.
Let's welcome Paper and Victor V. The fans know him, the community loves him, but they need to step it up if they want to have a trophy finish here today.
Still here, ready to make Brazil proud. King and Mazer. They'll have to fight their way back into the conversation, but they're ready.
You know who this is. It's Kanata and Cooper, and they're right in the middle of the race. We'll need the champ to finish and find a second win if he wants to succeed today.
It's been a rocky start here for Cammy and Seti, but the Polish powerhouse are due for a comeback. Can they make it happen?
Let's give it up for Clicks and Vino! Meditation, preparation, resilience is what this team stands for. The fans are rooting for you, but how far can you push it now?
That is the kind of audience reaction I want, and that is what I hope we continue to just do that for the rest of the day. Shout outs there to Clicks and Ven at the very end. Hanging out with Max from Make-A-Wish. We got to hang out with JP and Max. Excited and thankful that they could hang out with us. Now, we got to start things off. We saw Sammy. I always
Sammy.
He did it.
I did it to myself.
Oh, man.
Seti, Cammy. I'm sorry, I just mix up letters in my head. Seti and Cammy, very excited. Much kind of like all these other dudes we talk about, day 2 team, right? We can never count these guys out invitational winners. And now, what are they looking to do?
They were the team that I felt probably had the biggest effect of what I talked about yesterday with Chapentini switching over to the Nitrodrome. Oh my goodness, it had such a big ripple effect on Cammy and Seti. When you look at how they were playing before, they were in a surge base, they had another surge base in Kanada Cooper near them, they had Ryzen Ages near them, but Chapentini landing at Nitrodrome sort of warded those teams off, so all of a sudden Cammy and Seti, they're going, hello? Like, where is everybody, right? Nobody's here anymore, and had a big effect on how they played in the mid-game, so hopefully they've cooked something up overnight.
Yeah, we had a lot of those zones kind of pulling north as well, right? So a lot of those southern teams actually like to sit in the storm, and with Chapentini there, right? Them being unpredictable in terms of being there kind of messes up that rotations for a lot of the teams that are to the south.
Difficult situation, to say the least. Finally, Clix and Veno kind of rounding out our duos here once again. They've been hot and cold, right? And they've kind of been put into these situations where they've been in these shambles situations. However, they've had time to go back to the drawing board. What do we expect in day 2?
The drawing board, I'm happy that you kind of brought that up, Zeke, because if there was anybody that was hitting the VODs, hitting the replays, looking for something to exploit, it's the guy right there on your screen. Veno was looking for something. Levin, did he find it?
I mean, I hope he did. I hope he did. I mean, you guys are going to have to show him some more love. Can we make some more noise for Veno? There we go. There we go. Look. These two, it's been a tough sort of tournament for them because coming in, they were the favorites for a lot of people, and understandably, things look so clear-cut for them. The switch up and being contested makes things awkward, and so hopefully now they've sort of got an idea of how they need to play with the loot they have and the timings that they have coming out of that spot, but I can't imagine it'll be easy even today.
Yeah, no, I mean, crowd, you guys absolutely need to be cheering on Clix and Veno. You can see it on Veno's face. He's locked in. He's here on a mission. And now they just have to execute their plan. We're getting closer and closer to kicking off day number 2. As we kind of prepare ourselves, is there maybe something you guys are hoping to see here in game number 1? Is it some crazy strategy? Is it, let's just all everybody go 5 Peter about Pollo, try and shut him down, let's have a normal game for once? What is it?
Man, what do I want to see throughout these 6 games in general? I just want to see some good Fortnite, right? There were moments yesterday. I think one of the biggest ones that everybody's kind of been pointing out is the Swizzy 1v2. Heck it, let's have 1v2 in every single one of the games today, right? Keep those end games spicy.
I mean, me personally, I ain't praying on their downfall or nothing, right?
Okay.
But it would be nice for Peterborough and Pollo to have a slower start so we could have more of a competition. I'd like to see it be close by game 12.
Okay, all right. I think that's fair. I'll just rewrite the script super quickly before we do that. But Fortnite fam, it is that time. Game number 7 is prepared for us. So let's send it on up to Monster D-Face and the best taco to take us in.
Yeah, listen, I'm with you. The script, we got to go ahead and adjust that bad boy for day 2, of course. There's 6 more games here.
Yeah, and exactly, and I mean, I know it's really easy to get caught up in that point disparity that Peterborough and Pollo have established, but again, the 1.5 times multiplier makes anything possible, and we've already heard a couple of pretty popular duos. Some strong teams say that they're ready to challenge here in match 7.
Match number 7 is here. Day 2 of the Global Championship has arrived, and this is what it is all about. Who will have the start of the career, really start of their day, go the way that they expect it to, as Queasy and Thomas are going to be the first to touch down. We already had the chance to interview this team as well, right? Start to get a feel for what's in store for them. And you can tell there's other players kind of in the vicinity. However, they have the drop fully to themselves, but it's not the same for teams like Malabuka here.
Exactly. Restored Reels has definitely been a pretty popular hot contest here between Malabuka, Merstash, and the Power Boys from Oceania, Alex and Worthy. Worthy, though, managing to find a shield potion off rip, could definitely bode fairly well. And surprisingly calm start for both of these teams. They've got enough distance between them that they'll both have an opportunity here to loot things out and see how that next engagement really goes.
Much different than what we saw in days previous. Meanwhile, Peterbot and Pollo also seems like there's a little bit of a different strategy going down here. Yesterday, Peterbot and Pollo would have already probably had 2 eliminations come the drop here. However, they are still at 0, but jumping on over to that conversation of Malabuka and Merstash, game 1 jitters, more like game 7. However, things are off to a fast start for Power Alex and Power Worthy. They get the tags and they find more onto Malabuka. Already, it's looking excellent for the Team Power Boys.
Alex trying to do what he can, trying to scramble up behind Malabuka. Malabuka managed to throw down a couple of metal walls just in the nick of time.
Nice.
But he's only delaying the inevitable. Oshi strikes first here in day 2. Alex and Worthy fully in control now of Restored Reels.
Australia continuing to step up now. That's exactly what we want to see here. But for Kovacs and Huddy, the most surprising, I think, of all the duos that appeared inside of the top 10, given that they had a perfect day one minus a single early game elimination. We'll catch back up with them as K-Shota and Keiki have to make their region proud. All of the Brazilian fans are rooting for any of their teams to step up here. Can they win this first fight?
All Chiefs and Crisp are trying to do is just make sure they have to fight back. And Shota eats more damage than what he was bargaining for. Crisp now next to Chiefs. They're going to find that first knock. Shota is down. And unfortunately for them, Keiki goes with him.
Very, very tough angle to peek there, given he ran out of real estate. But look at this. Swizzy and Yapko try to make a move out of town, and Yuma and Rise, top 10. The best performing team out of Asia from day one is here, ready to meet them in here at match number 7.
Something the analyst desk was asking for was